Good morning, La Casa family. Now, you may be wondering, Connor, what are you doing here? Normally, you're on Stay Connected or you're behind in the audio booth behind the scenes. Well, we're kind of on a La Casa de Cristo world tour right now. We got Chris Lehman down in Mexico, and Pastor Matt, I believe, is in Egypt,
I
right?
believe that's true. Yeah.
So we're just sort of taking over. And so in the meantime, I'm here because this is in between the before and the after. This is the interlude. Thank you for tuning in. And I am Connor, and I am joined with our musical director here at La Costa Cristo, Ms. Jennifer Sheldon.
Hello, Connor. Hello, everyone.
And how are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. And so, Jennifer, I mean, you and I work pretty closely every week when
Every
we're
week.
building services, whether it's under the hood stuff or things out here that face the entire congregation. And I feel like you're sort of the brains of the operation where in terms of what we're singing or special instruments, it kind of all starts with you, right?
Exactly. Yes. So I plan the service soup to nuts kind of situation. Help work with the pastors on the readings and the scripture, and then I study the scripture, and then I choose the hymns that I feel best express what the pastor is trying to say, and also with the choir what they want to do in terms of how they can lift up the word that the pastor is preaching on, and that also applies to the contemporary service. My sidekick there is Bill McKinnon, and so Bill kind of helps, but we discuss what the service should be about and how it should work. So it's really a team effort also, and don't forget Jeremy.
Absolutely. I mean, so it takes a village, and many of the people in this village, we're all wearing many hats. So, whether it's deciding what the hymns are, we have our bell choir with us. We see them fairly often, but it's not every week. But they're
Right.
here with us this week, and like I said before, if I'm not making Stay Connected or if I'm behind here, I might be an interlude host. So we're all wearing a lot of hats here.
Exactly. And next week, it's going to be really exciting. It's Reformation Sunday,
Yes.
or Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday, the GCU choir is going to be here celebrating the Reformation. And so they're singing A Mighty Fortress and doing some really amazing Dan Forest arrangements. And also with brass, and I like to call them boom booms, all kinds of percussion. And Jeremy's going to, raise the roof on the church. And then on Sunday, we'll have the full choir. We're going to be back in robes.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I wish we were back in robes today because it's a little chilly.
Finally starting to feel like fall. Arizona's a little late to the game, but yes.
Right, and then we have our luncheon for our cultural tour that Jeremy and I are going on, and we're looking forward to that. So, 11:30, or if you are around church and like to have a free lunch and learn a little bit about Europe and where we're going, that would be great. Also at 10:30, if you want to just have coffee and have a little bit of fellowship in the fellowship hall and ask questions regarding the European tour. That'd be great. Also, 3 o'clock, the GCU choir is going to be doing the Mendelssohn Elijah with a big choir, big choir and orchestra. So that should be fun. It's a big day. You know what? You could just hang out here at church all day long. I know you're going to be there.
I will be here. There's a lot of things going on next weekend, and if you missed it just now, if you're tuning in waiting for the 9:15 service to start, we're going to give you a nice reminder in this upcoming Stay Connected episode. And so look forward to that, but there's a lot of good things going on. Jennifer, what I wanted to ask you, we have our bell choir here. You're talking about GCU coming in soon. What does it take when you're bringing in all of these outside forces sometimes that are with us for worship? Because on my end, it often feels like, and maybe to the rest of our congregation, it's just like, it's magic. Oh, poof, suddenly there's a choir, there's a whole choir, there's an orchestra, we have cellos and bells. Like, what all goes into organizing all of that so it can all be here and be a success?
Oh, Connor, wow, what a great question. You know what? It takes a lot of forethought and a lot of planning. So I start planning Christmas in just as soon as VBX is over. So I start really working on the on Christmas cantata, and also the fall Reformation, All Saints. I obsessively listen, and then once I kind of curate what was going to be happening, then I start inviting friends or guests. from Grand Canyon University. Good friends of mine are Mark Fury and Dr. Hernandez. So I'm very blessed to have those kind of connections. And then of course all the brass that comes in. We have so many talented people at the church here that are instrumentalists. Mike Downey is one who plays the trumpet, and he comes in and just volunteers his time and talents. So we're just really, really blessed. So many bell people
Mhm.
come in and play, wearing many hats, playing percussion, or it's exciting. It really is.
It really is, yeah. And so when I'm sure a lot of it comes down to availability as well, but when you're organizing a worship service and maybe there's a particular hymn or something, is there like a spark or something that clicks in your brain where you're like, oh, I could really elevate this, and it can maybe we can bring in this a piece of music like this, or a musician or a group of people. Is there some sort of like spark that kind of goes off sometimes too?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a secret about Reformation.
Okay.
So, my family was raised in Scottsdale. My dad was born in Arizona. My grandpa came from China. So, lots of history here in Arizona. And so, my grandpa had a grocery store,
Hmm.
and he was the only Chinese man who was allowed to buy property during the where Chinese people were just not allowed to have property.
Wow.
And so we're anyway in my grandpa's grocery store, which is called, now my uncle owns it, it's called Mexican Imports. My brother and I were cleaning out the basement,
Yeah.
which is, it's so hard to explain, but I found a bell. And for Reformation, the beginning of the mighty fortress, there's this bell, and it's like clang, clang, clang. It's supposed to be like the hammering of the nails in the cross.
Yes.
And it's so powerful. I know you like to play with that bell, right?
Yes. So I've seen that bell. It's currently here in the office, and so we're just gonna pull the curtain back a little bit for you guys. Don't worry, you're gonna see it soon. But yes, I'm a big fan of that bell.
Oh yeah, it's
But
cool.
learning the story behind it is really amazing, and
Oh
so
yeah.
knowing that, contextualizing that into what's going to go into the service is really amazing to know.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that.
Well, what a fun time. And I'm so grateful to have you on campus, on the staff with us working, and Derek Hicks. I don't know if any of you know him. He's often the face behind the camera. He doesn't like to get in front of the camera a lot, but he's also a wonderful team member that's joined our AV team this year.
Absolutely, yeah. The interlude is a fairly new thing. We've got it going for a couple months
Yeah,
now,
I think so.
and so it's pretty fun being on this side of the things. And so, with that said, we're gonna go back and wear our many hats to
Yes.
get ready for the next service. So, thank you for tuning in, La Casa, and have a blessed weekend. Thank you.
Bye.